The most prominent feature of our solar system is that the planets revolve around the Sun along a common plane and in the same direction. The solar nebula must have been spinning in this direction as it condensed out. The planets also spin on their axes. This means that at some point in the formation of the solar system, this motion was established, playing a significant role in the theory of planet formation. The next thing we notice is the planets are divided into groups depending on their composition. The inner solar system, a region out to about 3 astronomical units from the Sun, is comprised of dense, Earth-like planets and asteroids, which are small rocky bodies. The outer solar system is home to the enormous gaseous planets. Beyond the gas giants, but along the ecliptic plane, are the members of the Kuiper Belt, which include the planet Pluto and many other icy bodies, some of planetary size. Their orbits extend to about 100 astronomical units from the Sun. Beyond this lies the Oort cloud, a spherical array of icy objects that reaches out to about half a light year from the Sun. These two major characteristics, motion and location, play pivotal roles in the theory of solar system formation. We study other worlds in order to understand the geologic history of our own world better. The process is called comparative planetology, in which astronomers compare the geology and atmosphere of one planet to another. Each comparison increases our knowledge by providing information about individual worlds, how they formed, how their atmospheres developed, and how ongoing processes affect them. $4.5 billion years ago, the region around the Sun, including all the inner planets, was cluttered with planetesimals and smaller bodies. Collisions between comets, asteroids, and the young planets were very common. One of the most violent involved a Mars-sized object sideswiping a young Earth, which set the stage for the formation of the Moon.
I think the consensus theory of the origin of the Moon, that a Mars-sized body, some protoplanet that formed not too far away from the Earth, collided with the Earth. The collision blew out a cloud of gas and dust that condensed, eventually formed the Moon. It actually formed very quickly. The condensation of the Moon probably only took 100 years into a body that is comparable to the size of our present Moon. Now, it wouldn't have looked like the present Moon. The surface that we can see of the Moon at present was established about 3.9 billion years ago. That is, almost half a billion years from its formation, and that was established during an era of very heavy meteorite bombardment, about which we know very little. We do see the traces of the same bombardment on Mercury and on Mars, so something happened in the inner solar system that showered all of the planets with large meteoritic debris and changed the surfaces of all of them.
Mercury, the small planet nearest to the Sun. Planet Mercury goes around the Sun so quickly that we see it sometimes shining in the evening sky, then a few weeks later in the morning sky. Through telescopes and spacecraft, astronomers have revealed a world strewn with craters, the results of ancient impacts.
Look at that picture there. Isn't that the Moon, right? Wrong. That's Mercury. On the surface, Mercury and the Moon look identical, both victims of the period of late heavy bombardment. But inside, they're way different. Many decades ago, a spacecraft called Mariner 10 sailed past Mercury. Scientists were really surprised that Mercury was almost as dense as the Earth is. Mercury is a lot smaller than the Earth. So in order for it to be that dense, that core has got to be huge. It probably occupies the inner two-thirds of Mercury.
On June 8, 2004, Venus, a planet almost the same size as Earth, passed between the Earth and the Sun. It was the first transit since 1882, and for several hours, people could watch a big black dot cross the face of the Sun. Everything we know, kings and wars, plays and symphonies, the lives of everyone, has taken place on a world about the same size as that dot. But Venus and Earth have experienced very different fates.
Venus is our sister planet. It's about the same size as the Earth. It had the same early stages of differentiation and bombardment and volcanism, but Venus's atmosphere is very much like a greenhouse run amok. The entire atmosphere is so filled with carbon dioxide that its temperature has gone up to about 900 degrees Fahrenheit.
But it's in closer to the sun. It's into the sun, so it's hotter. It's hotter there, and water would be unstable. Its atmosphere is almost all carbon dioxide, which came from volcanic action, okay, and it just accumulated there, and the surface pressure is equivalent to 90 Earth atmosphere, so it's very, very high pressures at the surface and extremely hot.
Scientists know more about Mars than any planet besides our own. They've landed vehicles there, taken pictures, and analyzed samples of the planet's atmosphere and surface. Today, we know Martian landscapes look a little like Earth's deserts. We know the seasonal polar ice caps on Mars are not water, but frozen carbon dioxide, dry ice. And we know that dust storms, such as the one that the spacecraft Mariner 9 witnessed in 1971, blanket the planet for months on end, preventing much sunlight from reaching the planet's surface. From this, scientists have put together an intriguing history of the planet.
First, when Mars was formed, it has this primitive atmosphere like all planets. A lot of gas, a dense atmosphere between 1 or 5 times the terrestrial atmosphere today. The reason why it's changed is because Mars is smaller in size than the Earth, and it had a much harder time retaining molecule and light atoms like oxygen and hydrogen. And basically all these atoms dissipated through space.